All right, welcome back. So for my next dish, I'm going to make chicken parm. The ingredients are, I've got four chicken breasts, and I've got my dredging station over here. So basically it's some flour, I've got 3 eggs, and some breadcrumbs. So I've got a mix of normal breadcrumbs and panko breadcrumbs, some shredded mozzarella. That's basically for the chicken. And for the sauce that we're gonna make, basically we're gonna have half a cup of chopped onions, some minced garlic. I've got some sliced up sweet bell peppers. I like that, adding that to that simple sauce because it just brings up the flavor of the sauce. Some fresh basil and parsley. I've got a nice block there of fresh parmigiana reggiana cheese, and basically some tomato sauce that we're gonna use for the sauce. So what we're gonna do first is a tomato sauce. We're going to the pot. All right, so we're gonna start off with the sauce. What I've done is I put a couple tablespoons of olive oil in a pot here. And basically I'm gonna start with the mixing of the ingredients. I'll put the onions in. And get the minced garlic in here as well. And we're not burning them. It's basically a small simmer. We're sweating down the onions and the garlic. Okay, we got the heat on medium on the stove, so we're just sweating them down a little bit here. We're going to put in the peppers next, get that going. Okay, so after about 3 or 4 minutes of sweating down the veg, what I'm going to do is add a little bit of the tomato sauce to get the sauce and the flavoring started. Okay, so we'll put about half a jar in on there, and we're now going to start cranking up the heats, get it to medium high, and building the flavors for the sauce. I also like to add just a swig of some red wine in there. The red wine gives the sauce a bit more of a deeper red color. So we're starting to build the sauce right now. We got it on high. What I want to do now is basically give it a minute or two just to burn off the alcohol from the red wine. All right, after another 2 or 3 minutes, the wine has basically burnt off. The alcohol from the wine is burnt off, so we're going to keep on building the sauce. We're adding the rest of the tomato sauce into the pot. Got it on medium high now, so we're going to keep on stirring, and we're building the flavor right now of the sauce. Okay, so what is next now? We're going to add the herbs. So I got the fresh parsley. I just like tearing it, putting it in. We've also got the fresh basil. Again, just tear it, put it in. Okay, stir it all in. The jar that I've got here from the sauce, what I use, just put some water in it. Let's not waste it. And then we could just pour the rest of it in like so. Still stirring. So we've basically built the sauce here. Give it one last stir. Okay, and lastly, we're gonna season it here. We're gonna add just a little bit of salt and pepper for now. You always season to taste. Everybody's different. You basically taste it. If you feel like you have to add some more salt or pepper or whatever it may be, you go ahead and you season it according to what you like. So now what we're going to do is we're going to bring this to a boil for about a minute, and then we're going to put it on simmer for the next 15-20 minutes, and that's going to allow us to get the chicken prepped. All right, so we brought it to a boil, and we're going to basically reduce the heat down to a low simmer, and we're going to cover it, just leave a little bit of air to come out, and we'll let it sit there for about 15-20 minutes. All right, so next we're going to do the chicken. Just getting the dredging station prepped. Again, we've got some flour, we've got some of the breadcrumbs. With the breadcrumbs, I also like to put some fresh Parmesan, as I had showed you earlier. So we basically just add probably about a half cup of some nicely shaved fresh Parmesan in the breadcrumbs. So that's ready to go. And then 3 eggs. I already cracked the first 2. And we're just gonna get this going here as well. So we got everything raring to go. And now we're gonna go to the chicken. Okay, so what I want to do is just quickly prep the chicken breasts. What I usually do is just grab some parchment paper underneath the chicken breast, put 1 piece on top as well, and just you can either use a rolling pin or a flathead hammer like this. And what you want to do is just lightly tap it. You want to try to get the chicken uniform in thickness. Okay, so just hitting it, and you want to try to flatten it out as best as possible, just to get some type of uniform thickness. You see that? So it looks like it's nicely, evenly thick. All right, so this is what it should look like. So we've got evenly thick pieces of chicken breast. So we basically take it from here now, and we go to the dredge. We first put it into some flour. Okay, fully coated. Then into the egg, nice. Lastly, into the breadcrumbs. Just pack it down, and then lift it up. When it's done, you just put it aside, and we do the remaining chicken breast. And then we'll be going to the fryer. About 3 tablespoons of olive oil in the frying pan. It is hot, and we're basically browning the chicken. Okay, we're not fully cooking it. We're browning it probably about a minute on each side, because the final cooking process will happen in the oven with the sauce when it's smothered in the mozzarella cheese. Okay, so just waiting for a light browning. There we go. That's the color we want. We're not overcooking it here. A light browning. So the final cooking process will happen in the oven. Okay, we're on the final stages here. So the sauce is ready. It smells fantastic. The chicken's ready to go. We're prepping it for the last cooking stage, which is going to be in the oven. What I usually do is just grab a little bit of sauce and put it at the bottom of this glass tray. And we basically layer the chicken on like so. Looks great, fits perfect, okay? And then a bit more sauce. Again, this is to your personal preference. If you like a lot of sauce, slather it on. If you don't, you kind of go with what you want, okay? I don't like it too saucy. So this is the way I like to prep it. So that's ready to go. Then we've got the mozzarella cheese that I told you about. It was grated. You put that on top here. This is going to be fantastic. The sauce smells great. The pepper in the sauce elevates the flavor in the sauce. This is going to be fantastic. So with the cheese, if you like a lot of cheese, again, smother it. If you don't, you do it to whatever you like. Lastly, this Parmesan, grated Parmesan, is definitely needed for the final topping on the chicken. So a couple shavings of the Parmesan, like so. All right, there you go. And for a little color, piece of basil right on top. And this thing's ready to go for the oven. So the oven, 350 degrees for about half an hour. I cover it with some aluminum foil, and we'll see you when it's done. Hold it out, and this looks amazing. So let's give it a whirl. Take it out of the pan here. Put it on a plate. I took the liberty to saute some asparagus, and this is what dinner is going to look like tonight. So let's see how this looks. fantastic. Cheese is melted, the sauce looks great, and basically it is, give it a whirl. Yes, tastes great. So, that's my dinner. I'm gonna wash it down with a nice Negroni. Bon appetit.